All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you. It is a Friday. It is 9 minutes with me. A chilly day in the Northeast, of course, on the 1st of November. I am here for my famous weekly spot, 9 minutes with me on Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, IGTV. It is here at Rosie's Corner. I walked right in. Smelled amazing. The Fish Friday is here. If you're in and around Central New York, get here. They've got the fish with the mac and cheese or the French fries and the coleslaw. And of course, you can get all of your big themed foods during the week. Meatloaf Monday, turkey slop Tuesday, chicken and biscuits Wednesday, and then your fish on Thursday and Friday. And of course, you can get hot and cold subs, the delicious pizza, so many flavors, and of course, wings galore between the mild, the gold fever, and the garlic parm. Desserts to go, drinks in the cooler, phenomenal sides like potato salad and mac salad and some regular garden salads as well, some chicken salads. This place has it all. Available on Grubhub. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram. Rosie's Corner is a proud ML Sports Platter sponsor. I want to get into, I know it's a week early, but I want to get into a little LSU-Alabama, and I kind of want to go around the tippy top of college football, just kind of looking into the crystal ball and how this college football playoff may play out. Obviously, right now, the two best teams in the country are ready to square off in the same conference, and that, of course, would be LSU and Alabama. To me, I think Tua Tagovailoa is going to play. I don't think there's any question about it. His ankle does not look good now. It does not look good in the last few days, but he has a whole nother 8 days to rest, relax, get in the hot tub, get in the cold tub. I think he'll be ready to go at about 80-85% against LSU. And frankly, that's better than majority of the quarterbacks around the country. Better than probably about 325 or 330 of them. The only other guy who might be playing better than Tua Tagovailoa so far is a guy who's playing against next week in college football. And that's, of course, LSU's Joe Burrow, who's been magnificent. This guy has been, in my opinion, I think he's the lead dog for the Heisman Trophy. I think he is, him and that offense, and of course the new coordinator, they have really come in and been complete and utter difference makers. Remember, LSU, under Les Miles and now under Eddie Orgeron, before this year, this was a team that always had the athletes. It was a team that always had the speed. It was a team that always had the defense. It was a team that always had the special teams. Where's the offense? For some reason or another, it always befuddled my mind that LSU, a premier program in college football, up there in the history books, up there in recent times with Nick Saban revamping the program, up there in terms of 9-10 wins, New Year's Day bowls, college football playoff, all that stuff, big-time contender. Why in the world could they never get a quarterback? Why in the world could they never get a 5-star Southern, unbelievable, big, strong-armed kid? Why couldn't they get a kid from the Midwest? I mean, this is LSU, for Christ's sake. All you have to do is bring a kid to Baton Rouge on a Saturday night and watch them play an opponent in the SEC, and the kid falls in love with the program. How do you not bring in a quarterback? Well, right now, they've got Joe Burrow, of course, transferring in from Ohio State. How about the Ohio State quarterback pipeline, by the way? My God, this has been some run of quarterbacks at Ohio State, and now Burrow at LSU. He right now, to me, has been the Heisman Trophy winner. And this offense with some great receivers. You know, Alabama's receivers get a lot of the praise and accolades on the major platforms, podcast shows, radio shows, and, of course, College Game Day. But LSU has a very, very great crop of wide receivers as well, in and out routes and all that. They can burn you down the field, and Burrow's been hitting them basically on point since the beginning of the season. LSU and Alabama, to me, no matter who wins this game, no matter how the voters look at the Tua Tagovailoa injury, I think LSU and Alabama both deserve a shot to get into the college football playoff, assuming that one is undefeated, one has one loss, or even one, or they both have one loss at this particular time. And here's why when you look at the college football playoff. As it stands right now, there are 3 teams that still have an outside chance to get in, but they basically blew their season by losing to wildly inferior teams. Wisconsin lost to Illinois. Oklahoma lost to Kansas State. And, of course, you have the other situation in Georgia, who lost to South Carolina. Georgia does not play Alabama all year long, but they have an opportunity to maybe get back in, get back up, get in the SEC title game if they can win that. Would they have an outside shot I happen to think that Georgia, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin right now are out. Notre Dame getting blown out this past weekend at Michigan. They're out completely of the college football playoff as well. To me, this is an LSU, Alabama, Ohio State, and Clemson type of world. The question becomes, what will the voters look at for Clemson? They're playing in a terrible ACC. Their schedule is not that great. Would you by chance take multiple teams from the SEC? Would you take one, maybe two one-loss teams from the SEC instead of a Clemson? And I got to tell you, when you mark up the schedules mano a mano, I would take the SEC teams in a heartbeat. There's also a wild card in this college football playoff, and there's a lot of football left to play. When you take a look at a team like Penn State, this team is undefeated currently, but they've still got to play the big boy in Ohio State. I don't think Michigan is even in the picture at this point. They can still have a very, very good year and finish playing on New Year's Day, but they've still got some major competition. They have multiple losses. They look terrible in a couple of games. They barely beat Army. To me, this is a situation here where the game is not only shaping up LSU-Alabama for the college football playoff, it is shaping up, in my opinion, that if these two teams do not have any more than one loss, I think they deserve to get in. It's really going to be intriguing as well to see how Auburn plays into this whole thing. In addition, when you look at Auburn, could they, if they win out and all that, as a two-loss team, sneak in on the back end because maybe one of these teams loses and doesn't get in the SEC title game? Would they take a two-loss Auburn over a one-loss LSU or a Bama, depending on also if Auburn were, as they went out, that would mean that they'd win the Iron Bowl against Alabama. So there's a lot going on in the college football playoff in terms of a very short list. I don't think there's a ton of teams to look at. The Pac-12, I don't think anybody can stand a chance in that area. You've got the situation going on with, as I mentioned, the three teams that lost, Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Georgia. Those teams have a lot of work to do. Notre Dame's out of it. Michigan's out of it. Penn State, to me, is the ultimate wild card. And then you go to the ACC, there's only one team, and that's Clemson. So maybe right now we're looking at a situation of winner of Bama and LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, and who's the fourth team? Could it be Bama, LSU, Clemson, and Ohio State, one of those teams that I mentioned, facing off next week with one loss? It's going to be fascinating stuff, but I do think the list is much shorter than it was a few weeks ago because a lot of teams have taken terrible, terrible losses. Georgia's schedule doesn't stack up because they don't play Alabama, and they lost to South Carolina, Wisconsin. Horrible loss to Illinois. They don't deserve to get in just by that alone. And, of course, Oklahoma with a hideous job losing to Kansas State. Oklahoma still maybe could slide in as the fourth team, though. If they run the table the rest of the way and win the Big 12, don't be surprised to see the winner of Bama, LSU, assuming they stay unbeaten, Oklahoma, Clemson, and Ohio State. But again, I would take a one-loss SEC team over Oklahoma or Clemson in a heartbeat. I'm Mike Lindsley, 9 minutes with me here from Rosie's Corner. It's on IGTV, Facebook, and YouTube. Thanks for joining me. Make sure you hit me on Twitter, at Mike L Sports, Instagram, Mike L Sports 1979, and of course, download and subscribe to my podcast all over the major platforms, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, as well as Stitcher, Deezer, the Podbean app, YouTube, and Tumblr. Rate it 5-star and leave me some feedback. In the meantime, you got to get down here to Rosie's Corner. Meatloaf Monday, Turkey Slop Tuesday, Wednesday Chicken and Biscuits. You got your Friday fish and your Thursday fish as well with your mac and cheese, or you can pair it with the luscious fries and the coleslaw. They've got pizza, pasta, hot and cold subs, burgers, great sides in the cooler. Grab your refreshments as well and desserts to go. Go like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, and of course, get them on Grubhub as well. Jody, Jason, and the gang doing a great job here. It is Rosie's Corner, the official pizza shop of the ML Sports Platter. Thanks for watching 9 Minutes with me, Mike Lindsley, on IGTV, Facebook, and YouTube. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.